All right, hi. Today we're going to talk about the dark side of art, which might sound kind of alarming to you, and it probably should, but I don't think this is going to be an alarming video, hopefully an enlightening one. And while we talk, I'm just going to be working on this sketch. I'm working on some drawings to make a mini coloring book. It's going to be fairy themed, and I've decided that who's ever on my email list by a certain date, the date I have not decided, will get the mini coloring book as a digital download for free. So make sure to sign up for the email list down below this video if you want a free fairy coloring book. But we're going to work on it right now and talk about art. A few weeks ago, I made the video that I called The Astonishing Thing People Say About Art, and it was all about how art helps people and improves our lives. And it's true, art does do that. But the thing is when something has the power to help you, you can use it for good and it can be helpful, but you can also use it for bad. And as I was thinking about this, I realized that there's actually kind of a lot of things in this world that are like that, things that are really powerful that can help us or hurt us. And one of the other examples that I thought of is marriage. I think a lot of people talk about marriage like, oh, it's so hard, blah, blah, blah. And marriage can be hard, but it can also be amazing and life-changing and really great. Thankfully, I think my marriage is a good marriage. My life is better. My only regret about my marriage is I didn't get married earlier in my life, because being single was not nearly as great as being married is for me. But it also has the opposite, right? It's two sides of the same coin. As good as marriage can be, it can also be that bad. Marriage can ruin your life. It can ruin your kids' lives. There's, depending on the person that you're married to and how they are. It just has this amazing, miraculous power to be life-changing and wonderful and beautiful, and also just completely destroy you. Art is the same way. It's maybe a little more subtle. I actually feel like lots of times when people object to something artistic, like they're offended by a new artwork or a television show or a movie or whatever it is, and if they express that offense, I did not like that, or it didn't feel right to me, or whatever the reason is, a lot of times they're ridiculed because people are, well, it's art. Like, art is amazing and wonderful and good. You can't knock art. But the truth is that art, although it is amazing, wonderful, and good, can also be the opposite of all of those things. Often when we talk about art and the arts, we talk about aesthetics. And I remember the first time I heard the word aesthetic, I guess I didn't hear it. I read it in an article. There was like an artist that I admired as a teenager, and he had written an article and he used the word aesthetic, and I did not know what it meant. I had never seen it before or heard it, and I looked it up in the dictionary to figure out what it meant, and the dictionary definition that I found at the time, at least, wasn't helpful. I remember reading it over and over again and just feeling not enlightened to what the word aesthetic meant at all. For this video, I went and looked it up again, and I don't know if dictionary definitions have just gotten better, but two of the definitions under aesthetic were concerning the appreciation of beauty or good taste, and also attractive or appealing. I think that's often how we use the word aesthetic, is like, oh, that's so aesthetic, or this type of cottagecore aesthetic, or whatever, that it sort of feels a certain way or looks a certain way. But when the word aesthetic became, to me, understandable was when I was in college. We used to have a weekly devotional. It was a church school. And my favorite one that I still remember to this day was actually given by my sculpture teacher. He brought up the word aesthetic and how we use it in arts, and what it means, and he was like, it's actually kind of hard to define or describe what aesthetic is, but it's from the same root word as another word that we know pretty well and understand pretty well, and the other word is anesthetic. I looked all of this up just for the video, like I didn't want to just do it all from memory, But the root word is AU, Proto-Indo-European root, meaning to perceive. But anyway, so to reiterate, aesthetic, or something that's aesthetically pleasing, is something that lights you up and like enlivens you and makes your life better, gives you more feeling, gives you like more love, more whatever good. And an anesthetic is something that numbs you, makes you past feeling, makes you like, what would be the, like another way for saying past feeling, that like that word where like you just don't care anymore, like you can't relate to people, you're not empathetic, stuff like that. And I think this is a really interesting thing when applied to art. Usually when I think about art, I think about the good stuff, right? Like the things that I like and love that enliven me, just like I mentioned in that other video. But I think there's plenty of examples of artistic things, or even like degenerative forms of art that numb you. I think the most extreme one is probably pornography. Pornography, you know, it's addictive and it numbs you. And that's how a lot of addicting things are, is you're partaking in that addiction to not feel like the pain is too hard, or even the like not pain, even the good stuff is too hard. You do those things to like numb out. So if you have like pornography on the one extreme end of like, this is numbing you, there's also going to be something that's the opposite, that's like really brings you alive. Does that make sense? Makes you feel all the good things to the extent that you probably couldn't even imagine feeling so good. And then the in-between. And I think most art is in between. There's a lot of art that's really good, that enlivens you and makes you feel better. But there's also art that kind of like miss you. Yeah. It's things that like maybe you're not paying attention, but you know, I don't know, like watch a movie or something, and then afterwards you might feel blah, could be. Or it could even be that like the feelings that it brings up are making you feel something negative. Like sometimes it feels good to feel something negative, and you might not notice that it's affecting you in a negative way. Does that make sense? Anyway, so basically the point of this video is just to be aware that there are things out there in the world. It could be a painting, it could be a TV show, a movie, it could be a dance. I don't know, there's any array of things that could make your life worse. Does that make sense? And I'm not here to like tell you what they are or what you should watch or not watch or partake in, but more to just make you aware that there could be things that you're like doing in your life that are deadening you or anesthesia-ing you. Is that even a word? Like being an anesthetic to your spirit or your feelings. And if you're not aware of it, you might not even know that it's happening. And so I guess this thought is just maybe pay attention sometimes. Pay attention if you're seeing an image or watching a show and you don't feel good. And then maybe choose differently the next time. It's just like with food. You can eat healthy food and it makes you feel good, and you can eat unhealthy food and it makes you feel bad. And sometimes it's not so obvious that like you eat a piece of candy and then you're dead, or you eat a piece of candy and then you have diabetes. It's more like this gradual thing that happens over time, a lot of times. And I think that's the same way with art. Okay, that's it.